Hi, boys and girls. As you can see in front of me right now, I have a couple of flowers that I went and got the other day from the plant market, okay? So we're just gonna let's talk about, doesn't really matter. This one's smaller. So here, as you can see, there are the parts of the flower, we're going to go over them, okay? Or the parts of the plant. So particular flowers in particular do actually flower. At the moment, this one only has one that has bloomed, but there will be more coming out of these shoots, okay? So the flower produces seeds. This is how, so usually it'll happen from in the middle, and the seeds that come, they either fly away, like in the book that we read, or bees and butterflies and insects come and they land on them, and they help to pollinate, and they collect like the nectar, and they collect other particles, and they go around and they pollinate other flowers, and they help to grow other flowers. But the seeds are usually in the middle of those flowers, okay? So when they end up falling off and whatnot, they go and they get replanted elsewhere, and they'll bloom, they'll grow again elsewhere, okay? The stem, so this one's a little bit harder to see because there's so much, it's very leafy. But the stem is the main support of the plant, okay? It holds the plant up nice and tall to allow it to get as much sun as possible, okay? So there's a couple different sections in here, actually. There's this one, and there's this one here. It's hard to see. This one's a bit easier. We'll look at this guy. The stem is right in here, right? Okay, anyways. So we have the stem of the plant. The leaves here, there's lots of leaves. The leaves are what make food for the plant, okay? So the leaves are what, and they make that food from the sun. So they collect energy from the light and from the sun, and also they absorb carbon dioxide, which is in the air, and with that they convert it into energy to help support the plant and help make the plant grow, okay? Then the root, which you can see it's starting to come out the bottom here because I have to repot this. The root holds the plant in place in the soil. It holds the plant in place. The roots also, they get the minerals and the water from the soil, and they bring it up to the plant, keeping the plant alive, okay? So those are the parts of the plant. As we also talked about earlier about living things, so things that plants need to live is they need sun, and they need air and water, and they also need space, okay? So if you look here, this one, the roots are growing out of the bottom. This is getting to be way too small of a container for this flower. It needs more space. It needs to be able to grow. Its roots are getting too big. They're growing out of this container. It needs more space. So if you keep it in this little tiny pot, eventually it won't grow anymore and it will die, okay? So those are the 4 things that plants need. They need air, water, sun, and space. They also need things to grow in, like soil, and like they need nutrients and food, but they collect all that from those 4 things, okay? What I want you guys to do now is I'm going to take pictures of both of these plants, okay? And I'm going to take different angled pictures. I also have another plant down here, but it's in a big thing. I'll show you. It's in this. So I'm going to take pictures of these plants, and I want you guys, I'm going to put those other flowers in here when I'm done, to pick one of them, and I want you to do a really nice, like a detailed sketch, okay? So sketches don't have color, okay? They just have They're just drawn with pencils, a sketch. If you would like to do one with color and you think you did a really, really good job at your sketch, you can, but I would prefer you to just use a pencil and about half the piece of paper, okay? So this is this big. I can fit that. Actually, you probably would need a whole piece. And I want you to try and make it the same size that the flower is, okay? So I'm going to do a sketch of one of these and I'm going to show you. If you take your time and you really get the detail of the leaves, and you can see if you look in the leaves, they have the detail in the leaves, the details in the flower. You can really get those sketches with a pencil, okay? So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm not finished it. I just wanted to show you. I'm gonna just flip my camera, okay? So this is the angle that I am drawing my flower off of, okay? So if you look here, I started with the base and I started just drawing the stem. And I drew this big stem over here, and then I saw all the little parts where it came off. I haven't added any leaves or details, and this is what I have so far, okay? So I did the stem, the big flower is gonna go here, and I've done where all the other little stems are, okay? So I'll come back and I'll show you my next steps. Okay, so this is where I'm at now. I've done some of the leaves. I don't have a sketching pencil. You guys probably won't either, but if you had different types of pencils, it might be easier to draw. So if you try out a few different pencils. Okay, so here's this. And as you can see, I haven't finished yet, but this has taken me, I didn't do this in 1 minute, okay? The flower was quite difficult, but do you see how I tried to replicate the lines that are there? Same with in the leaves. I have detailed in the leaves. Up here, more detail. So I need to finish filling out the leaves here, and then I am finished, okay? So I want you guys to do that. When you are done, I want you to label these parts on your plant. So I'm gonna just write them here. I want you to label the stem, leaves, roots, and the flower. And I want you to tell me one thing they do, okay? Stem, leaves, roots, flower, one thing each of these does for the plant. So I want you to label it and tell me one thing it does. If you don't have room on your page, you can just label it and then on another page tell me what it does. Okay, so take your time, make it look good, add detail in it, lots of lines. Okay, so you can choose My Plants, or if you have your own plants that have flowers at home, absolutely use one of those. Maybe you guys have something outside that has flowers. Maybe you have a different plant in your house. It needs to be real, though. Okay, let's have it try and be a real plant because I feel they have more detail, okay? So you can, if you don't have one, you can choose one of mine. I have 3, or you can draw one of your own if you have one at your house. Okay, guys, so have fun with this. Take your time. It's going to turn into a really nice sketch when you're done. I'm excited to see your sketches of your plants, okay? Bye, guys.